On this special episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, we talk with identity marketing rock stars about how to grow your business and why you should be helping other people.
Ta-da!
Now, you are actively putting out articles and coaching principles and different things within the industry. In a recent article I read, you touched on what was EVA, an EVA principle. Can you touch on that, what that means, and why something like that's important?
Well, I can't take credit for developing the Eva Principle, but I had the pleasure of listening to a woman by the name of Nikki Pratt when I was up speaking at PPPC in Canada. And it was really interesting because the things that she was talking about pretty much validated the things that I try to do when I'm building marketing campaigns and coaching and things like that. And the Eva Principle is three things: being engaged, value, and appreciated. And the reality is, if you are missing any of those components, a lot of people think it's price-oriented all the time. But the reality is, if you're engaging your customers and you value them and you appreciate them, it really does connect. And the whole idea about engagement is so important. I mean, we hear about it. What's interesting is we hear a lot about it outside of the industry, but very little in the industry. And so I think that that's part, I mean, it was like a validation when I heard her talk about it. But because when I build my marketing, as I said, it's all about that engagement, the client experience. So that's what the principle is about. And you know, my hat's off to Nikki for bringing it public like that.
Yeah, you're totally right, Cliff. I think that by engaging, it creates context, and by context, then we have better relationships to build upon within business. So that's great. Have you had pushback on this product safety, and if so, why do you think that is?
There's no question there's pushback, and I think there's a lot of reasons. One is this is an industry that is, to a great degree, one of very low barrier to entry. You know, there are people out there operating in this business. There are 27,000 odd distributors out there. You know that if they have a car trunk, they're in the business as long as they have a credit card, and their idea of a supply chain is, I know a guy. If we're conducting business like that, we're putting all of ours, I mentioned, you know, the sustainability of our industry at risk. And there's the, you know, kind of old guard that says, I've always done it that way. You know, I'm totally driven by delivering the lowest price item. I'm willing to throw PO over the wall and see what comes back. Unfortunately, that's kind of we need to change that. That's the biggest challenge, is to change some of the old way of doing business. And as a further obstacle is, you know, delivering safe and compliant product is not easy. There are all the changing regulations. There are regulations by state. You know, shipping in California with a product designed for children under 12 years of age, there is such a different set of rule books when you talk about Prop 65 and all the other challenges that it just, when you talk about general use articles somewhere else than California and child appealing products into California, you talked about two totally distant worlds. And there are people who are just unwilling. And the reality is, I'm not a compliance professional, but you need to be really close to one, because that's the way the business is. That's the new normal of business.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know it's got to be a huge challenge for you, Jeff, but I feel like strides are really being made, and I commend you and your organization on all that work.
Well, I appreciate that, but, you know, there's a lot of hard work going on. You know, you look at PPAI and their initiative for, you know, product safety awareness. I honestly think that there are a lot of end users that are forcing things into the marketplace. You know, the major consumer beverage clients, Disney, just an awful lot of brands that are beginning to ask tougher and tougher questions. And for us, in our position, the tougher the question, the better we like it, because that then forces people. We honestly don't think that people just wake up one morning and decide to be certified. You know, that you don't just go, oh, you know what, I'm going to, just because I want to be a good guy this morning, I'm going to spend 15 to 18 months getting my supplier certified by QCA. I'm going to make the investments in both people and money. I'm just going to do that because I'm a good guy. No, it happens one of three ways. One, they have a customer, and that's why we work with our Distributor Advocacy Council so closely. The best thing they can do is help us really target by taking a look at their preferred supplier programs and saying, look, one of the barrier to entries into a preferred supplier program is being QCA certified. So a customer saying no. A competitor saying, oh, look at the orders I'm getting because I do have certification. I can prove it. Or a colleague who says, oh, look, I heard about this QCA thing, and some of the business practices that became and some of these economies we've found, we're actually operating a better business. So it's a client saying no. It's a competitor kicking your hind end. Sorry, better be careful what I say there. It's a family show. Or a colleague who can share some degrees of success. So you don't just wake up one morning. But you're right. I think through the efforts of a lot of individuals in our industry at all three positions, supplier, distributor, end user, I think there's some work coming on. I think it's becoming at least a mainstream conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great job. You started Free Promo Tips many years ago, and I certainly don't want to speak to our age at all, but I know
No.
Yeah, right. I subscribed to your email many years ago, and you've moved into social as well. But you've really, it seems like you have a real niche, a target that you're reaching for. Do you think that's important in business, and why?
Yeah, for Free Promo Tips, which is a unique program that isn't really quite like anything else, our niche is really, in some ways, probably like yours, is you want to just help people. You want to do things that are positive for the industry or on the distributor side, the community. And so for me, that's the niche. And I got that vision because people helped me when I came into the industry. And I was a clueless screen printer, decorator. And I came to this promotional product stand. I'm going, oh my God, look at all this stuff. And people reached out to me and helped me. And that was what I really wanted to do with others. And so now we're active in social media. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned to you, Free Promo Tips has won a PPAI Web Award. We're going to get in January.
Yeah,
so,
congratulations.
That means that what we've been doing for suppliers, distributors in the industry is being recognized, and we're proud of that. So
yeah, congratulations, man, really.
Thanks.
What are some of the biggest mistakes you think sales professionals in our industry or any industry make?
Not pre-qualifying prospects. A lot of sales professionals spend too much time on prospects that don't have a want, need, or the ability to purchase. So I recommend that you have a set of qualifying questions that you have in your mind when you go on a first call or when you're meeting someone that would let you know that this person is or is not a good prospect for you. So you're not spinning your wheels, because I've seen too many people in the promotional products industry spend hours trying to come up with price quotes, and they find out this person didn't have the authority, they were just shopping around, they're not really interested, those type of things. So I think that's huge, to qualify your prospects. And I recommend one of the easiest ways to qualify prospects is to figure out who you don't want. And I'm going to give you a little analogy. I think selling is similar to dating. If you can think back, anybody that's listening to this, to when you were single, or maybe you're still single, have an image in mind of the kind of person you want to go out with and the kind of person you want to build a relationship with. And you should have that also for the people that you want to do business with. And it can be their position in the company, know the names of the positions that may have the authority to order promotional products, how much they are able to, can they give you repeat orders? Are these the kind of people that, now here's an important question that many people neglect. Are these the kind of people that you would enjoy working with? So definitely one big mistake is not pre-qualifying clients and spending too much time with the wrong clients.
Right.
The second big mistake, and this is big in promotional products industry or for anybody that's a sales professional, is that well, let's go with the promotional products industry.
Mm-hmm.
Just focusing on the product.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on the product that you're selling. Focus on the need and how that product is a solution for a need that the client has. It makes no sense to go in to see a client and say that we have a 99-cent special on coffee mugs or pens for 20 cents. Focus on the client's needs and how what you do solves a problem for that client or helps them market their business better. And then you can use a promotional product to help solve that need. But go in first, asking questions and focusing on their needs. Mm-hmm. The third big mistake, and I think this is huge, and I've been guilty of this. I think that all of us may do this sometimes, is not effectively following up. Mm. You need to follow up consistently, and you need to follow through. Two things, follow up and follow through. So I think it's a great idea when you meet someone at the end of every first sales meeting to say, what's the next step? Mm. When should I get in touch with you again? Type of thing. And then call the person, send them an email, send them a personal letter, send them a spec sample or a digital proof, but follow up and follow up consistently in a variety of different ways. If you keep following up and saying, are you ready to order yet, or ready to order it, that grows old. But if you follow up and you say, I just read this great article and I think that it would be fantastic and really help your business, I'm going to pass that on to you so that your name is always visible. Or follow up with an email newsletter or a marketing tip or a spec sample with their logo on it. Be creative with your follow-up, and follow through is always do what you say you're going to do, because sales are based on know, like, and trust.
Right. One of your passions is helping people. And I hear that from a lot of successful people. They want to help other people be successful. Why do you think serving others, helping others is so important to success?
First of all, you're assuming I'm successful, which I appreciate, which is absolutely outstanding. We all started out, whatever industry we're in, not knowing anything. Whether you graduated from college, went to a trade school, it really doesn't matter. You learn things in school, and then real life happens. The real world kind of asserts itself. So I always use the promotional products industry. The analogy I use is that of cave drawings. We've seen those cave drawings where that's how they would share stories from generation to generation. They would draw, somebody shooting a bow and arrow at an antelope or whatever it may be. That's how people learn in this industry, and it's very interesting. People assume that, they'll just know it. They'll just pick it up by osmosis. I had so many people in my career, and I'd start naming some, but I'd leave so many out. I've had so many people help me in this industry get to where I'm going to be, from learning industry pricing codes, writing quotes, pricing things appropriately, knowing how the little theater of presentation when you're showing somebody an idea, all of those things. It would be selfish of me not to pay that back and not to give that back. So I really believe it's important to give it back. I wear a pay it forward bracelet everywhere I go. I've handed them out. I just really feel it's so important to give back. And honestly, Kirby, and I know you do a lot of this too, helping people it's more than, sometimes it's just mentoring, sometimes it's just giving sound advice, but it's an addiction. Mm-hmm. And it's a good one. I find that I thrive on it, and I get so much more back when I give than when I don't. And so I really believe in paying it forward. As Paul McCartney said, in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And I really do believe that.
Thanks for watching, but wait! Can you do me a favor? Please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done it already, the way to do it's right over here. And hey, if you want to watch the last episode, check that out over here. Again, before you leave, subscribe!